my mother set the house on fire with us inside. What the fuck? What?
We're born in the moonlight. Ain't no fantasy. Can't breathe in the sunlight.
Hello beautifuls, this is Aromie here. Welcome back to Changeling. We are here. Just telling Allie to call us whenever she can, or we'll call her another day. Because the other choice was stupid. Completely stupid. I sighed, man, this was bad timing. Maybe it was for the best though. If I had to wait to talk to her, then I had to get my thoughts about it together. And tell her in a way that wouldn't result in a complete freakout. You sure you're okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Just focus on work. Sorry to bother you. Hey, you're not a bother. You are? I smiled slightly, but it quickly faded. I bit my lip as I stared at my contact screen, wondering what to do next. One name caught my eye. Someone who is probably knowledgeable enough to give me some advice, but he might be busy too. They could have him out looking for missing ghosts again. I don't want to bother him, but he said I could go to him for help, and I felt that he probably wouldn't pressure me into talking to anyone I wasn't ready to talk to. So it might be a good compromise. I typed in the text and hit send. A few minutes later, my phone chimed. I'm here. Even though we can't hear him, just reading that is comfort enough. Can you meet somewhere to talk? I wasn't sure he would, with his ghost entourage and the way he avoided talking outside the club room and things. But he had been out with guests the day before, and he'd also spent a little while talking to me then with no incidents. Of course, there was a chance guests could keep his ghost in line or something. Ugh. Where? I breathed a sigh of relief. You live in Raven's Glade, yeah? Yes. His short text. Bridge? I will be there in about 10 minutes. Okay. I got up and quickly threw together an outfit. I didn't even bother checking the mirror. I knew I looked awful, and I just couldn't worry about that at the moment. It's okay, he's gonna see me in my lows, alright? He already saw me in my highs, probably. Not yet, but okay. I went downstairs quickly and scrawled a quick note to let Mom know I'd be gone for a while. It was still distressingly early when I let myself out. This time of day sucks. I shoved my hands in my pocket and started down the driveway. I didn't know why I'd chosen the bridge, of all places. Last time I'd been down there, it hadn't gone well for me, with that Spriggan and all, but it was an easy landmark, and it was far enough from the house I wouldn't have to worry about family seeing, unless Spencer follows me again. And that was something else to worry about. I hadn't really let myself think about it last night. He said he's seen the attack, but what did that mean? What did he see? I'd been kind of out of it, but I remembered what else he said, that he didn't know who I was, that he wanted his real sister back. What did that even mean? Okay, that reflection kind of scared me. I thought it was a person. What would it mean for him that he'd seen that? I didn't even know, and that was definitely something I was going to have to tell Allie soon. I stopped about halfway to the bridge, staring off into the trees on the wooded side. In the daylight, the attack felt so faint and far away, almost like a dream. But if I closed my eyes, I could still feel the freezing darkness closing in on me. Ugh, dang it. How had I gotten to this point? A few weeks ago, I was just a normal girl who knew nothing about this stuff, and now I was getting attacked in the forest at night by some kind of creepy ghost thing. How did my reality change so fast? And Chico? William. Oh, hi, William. He was just behind me, watching me with a worried look on his face. Hey. Hi. Sorry to call you out so early. Don't apologize. It seemed urgent. Well, it is. A little. I rubbed my neck. This is a little awkward to come out and ask, but is it going to be okay to talk for a while? I mean, we're not going to make anyone mad? Nothing happened yesterday, but Guess was around and I didn't think I could handle any more angry ghosts at the moment. He reached into his pocket and pulled out an old-looking amulet thing. It's pretty. It's a sort of charm that can keep them away. I had it yesterday too, that's why nothing happened. I thought Guess just scared them away with her wrench or something. He shook his head, looking down. Even she can't do something like that. This works okay. I don't really like me using it, but it's best to keep them away when I'm outside like this. Thank you. I was surprised at how relieved I was. I know you wanted to meet at the bridge. Is it okay to stay here instead? Oh sure, I don't mind. I leaned against the iron fence, picking a leaf caught on the rail. How come though? Is something wrong with the bridge? Bridges are, you don't like water? I don't like water, I'm fine. I'm Gucci here. Though the creek wasn't really all that deep. No, it's not that. Bridges are just a little uncomfortable for me. Most liminal spaces are. Liminal spaces? You haven't read about them in your research. I mostly focus on learning about fairies and things, so it hasn't come up. Liminal spaces are places like bridges, cemeteries, even doorways or mirrors. They're places where the edges of reality are more apparent. The boundary between what's real and what's paranormal thins out. Paranormal things are drawn to places like that. I don't like being in those sort of places. It can be dangerous, especially right now when all sorts of things are starting to wake up. It seems like there is a lot of danger lurking around everywhere this time of year. He gave me a sidelong look. Are you okay, Michiko? I flopped on the ground with a frustrated sigh. After a pause, he sat next to me, cross-legged, leaning his elbow on his knees as he watched my face. I looked away, wondering if he was hearing my thoughts again. I don't know. I forgot he could listen. I'll listen. I mean, if you need to talk. I guess that was all I needed. Just that one little reassurance that he'd listen. Because it just all came out in a rush after that. Everything about the start of the sleepwalking to the attack last night. The way it felt like there was someone else there. I was nearly in tears by the end of it. I'm sorry, this is so stupid. I don't know why I'm such a mess. It's not like I'm hurting or anything. It's not like I'm hurt or anything. I wasn't hurt at all. It sounds like it was very frightening. It's just stupid. Oh god, I'm crying again. Please, no. No! The tears spilled over despite my best efforts to keep them at bay. Michiko, if something is making you cry, then it's not stupid. It's not stupid to cry. Somehow that made me cry even harder. Same. Even as I was trying to wipe the tears away, I swallowed hard. I don't know what it was. I've never felt like that before. It felt like dying. And then there was that hand that pulled me back. That light. What even was that? Who was it? I rubbed my face tiredly. We should tell Guess and Vilos. Honestly, we should. Why would they give us the option to not do that? I was thinking that too, but I'm just worried about telling them about the sleepwalking. I haven't mentioned it to anyone really. Not even Allie. Not the whole story, no. But you're okay telling me. I didn't think you'd tell anyone, and I needed to talk to someone about it. You're special. Okay, I felt like I could trust you, like you wouldn't freak out or panic. Allie would definitely panic. I don't think the others will freak out, not the way you're imagining. They deal with things like this a lot, it's their job. I know, but it's just, I don't know them. I don't know anything about this agency and what they do. Something else is bothering you, right? I shot him a furtive glance, wondering if I was already shouting things at him again. Well, Spencer saw it. All of it. He helped me get back to the house. That's your brother, isn't it? I nodded. I mean, Allie and I talked about the idea of having to check to see if he was, like me. And I've told her that he has been more suspicious of me than ever. But she mentioned something about Vilos erasing his memories, and I'm worried about him. He's been through a lot. I don't want them messing with his head. And it's the first time he reached out to me in a long time. Even if his motivation was kind of a bit weird, I don't want that erased. I understand. I wasn't sure I understood it myself, really. It was just a moment of closeness. I didn't want to be the only one who remembered that Spencer had helped me. I think you should tell Allie first. She knows your brother better than I do, so I think she'll have some advice that obviously Willem doesn't have. I wanted to tell her today, but when I texted her, she was apparently out somewhere doing work for the agency. There's no way to explain all this over the phone. William pulled his knees up to his chest and picked at one of his shoelaces. Why does it seem like you're surprised your brother helped you? I know the two of you aren't close, but I mean, he just flat out hates me. At least he acts like he does most of the time. Even if he saw me being attacked, I guess it seemed like he'd just watch me suffer and be glad. That's how it feels anyway. He tipped his head and looked at the sky through the trees. I studied his profile quietly. He had such a gentle, sad look on his face as he spoke. I don't know what he's really like, but I think people are really complicated. People can act like they hate you, then turn around and help you. And people who are supposed to love you can hurt you deeper than anyone else. Sometimes people we care about are battling their own demons, fighting battles inside every day. And if we get caught in the crossfire, we end up getting hurt as well. I didn't know which would be worse, inner demons you couldn't tell anyone else about, or real ones that ambush you in the woods at night. How about both? My forehead's itchy. You sound like you have experience with getting caught in the crossfire. I've seen it happen to others a lot. I mean, everyone has a lot of scars from that kind of thing. Not Not the kind you can see with your eyes, but the kind I can feel if I get close enough. I just want to help. Oh, sorry. I just want him to stop having to go through frightening things because of me. Ugh. I stood in a stretch, trying to shake off that feeling of hopelessness. William stood as well, leaning against the iron fence. Thank you for coming out here to talk to me. No, I should thank you for calling me. I was glad to get out of the house for a while. Something about the way he said that. Is everything okay with you? I mean, I've been blathering on about myself. Are you okay? He looked at me with that customary sadness creeping into his features, but quickly looked away, biting his lip. Is something going on at home? I wonder if it had to do with his mother's death. It gave me a startled look and I realized I probably projected that. God damn it, me! You don't have to tell me, but if something's bothering you, I'll listen. I don't mind. I mean, you listen to me after all. It is just tense at home right now. You aren't wrong about it being related to my mother. I'm sure that kind of thing is hard on everyone. It is. And my father is here, in town, for the memorial. He's currently working out of state, so he doesn't visit much. I live with my grandparents. Oh, we're getting to learn more about him. Okay, good. There's still time. I didn't realize that. I thought about moving in with my grandparents a few times, especially right after we moved. Things with Spencer weren't great and I hated the city. Sometimes I thought it would be easier to move in with them and come back here. I've lived with my grandparents since I was very young. With that he said about his mother and now this revelation, it definitely had me thinking his home life was pretty complicated. That had to be tough to deal with on top of everything else. Remember how I said my mother was in the hospital? How I said I didn't know her well? Yeah? You mentioned she had been in the hospital for a long time. When I was very young, there was a time frame my father was on a business trip, and my mother set the house on fire with us inside. What the fuck? What? I just stared at him, too stunned to speak. We both survived, obviously, but she was hoping we wouldn't. She was burned badly and nearly died. I was also... Sorry, my throat really hurts. From the smoke inhalation, I was in bad shape. They said it was a miracle either of us lived through it. I'm so sorry, that's awful. How could a mother do something like that to her child? William closed his eyes, sighing softly. It must have been painful to talk about it, but he didn't stop. My mother was also an Esper. Not as strong as me, but enough that they could see her. She spent her entire life trying to avoid them, to pretend they weren't there. I think when she found out I could see them, it hurt her a lot. She used to talk about a family curse and how she didn't want a cursed child. I think she always hoped she could escape them by getting away from her family. When I was born, I shattered that illusion. I saw things she tried to ignore. They were drawn to me. They clouded the house to the point she couldn't ignore them anymore. They're possessive and angry. If my parents even touched me, they would get angry and throw things around the house. And when my telekinesis developed and I couldn't control it well, everything got worse. My father was away a lot. I think he stayed away because it was easier than being at home. So my mother had to cope with it alone. And after a while, it was too much for her, so she just broke. To her, I guess I was a monster when she had to get rid of it in any way possible. My grandparents never forgave her, and they never forgave my father for the way he stays away. Not that he's here, it's just everyone is very angry at home right now. It's hard to be there. Oh, hold his hand or hug him or say nothing. Why would they do this to me? Hug him. I don't give a shit. Hug him. Without thinking, I reached out and pulled William into a tight hug. He went completely stiff as soon as my arms went around him, but I didn't let go. And this time, he didn't move away. Good, because I would just squish you even more if you tried to. That just wasn't okay. None of that was okay. Not what his mother did, not the way his father avoided him, and not everyone being angry to the point it made him uncomfortable. None of it. You're not a monster. I hope you've realized that by now. No matter what she may have thought or why she thought it, you're not a monster. I squeezed him tighter. William slowly relaxed. And to my surprise, I felt his arms cautiously creeping around mine too. Or around me, sorry. Awkwardly, as if he wasn't sure it was okay, or as if he just wasn't used to being able to hug someone. Maybe because his little spirit entourage usually pitched a fit about it, but they weren't around right now, and I didn't care anyway. CGR! And then William was hugging me tightly, almost clinging to me like a drowned man trying to stay afloat. I hugged him back just as fiercely, wanting to really make this moment count. I had a single night of fear to deal with, but William had a lifetime of it. I had a brother who was a jerk to me, but he had a mother who tried to kill him. I was sitting here wanting him to comfort me, but he needed it more. I hope you know you're one of the kindest people I've ever met. William, we just love you a whole lot, okay? My cheek out. His voice was muffled against my arm, and I squeezed them together as if that would somehow get rid of all the ugliness he had to deal with. I finally pulled away and brushed his hair from his face. His cheeks were a little red and his eyes wet. I smiled at him. This is where we have to end, though, because it's time. It's time. I'm very happy with my choice of hugging him. I was very tempted to take his hand, but as I promised to myself, if there's ever a hug option, we have to go for the hug. I don't care. It was a good option. Whatever. But anyway, I'm very glad that there was a hug CG art. Anyway, very happy. My throat hurts, so I need to drink some water, and then we're gonna pick back up. But anyway, thank you guys for watching today's episode. Stay beautiful, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Touch it, I need that.